Hello, I'm Vince from We're Airstream of Chandler, Arizona. I want to just briefly go over a walkthrough on the 2025 Interstate 19. So as we move to the front of the coach, some of the components you'll want to be familiar with. You would add your def here. You have over here a spot to add windshield washer fluid. Then you do not have a dipstick. That is actually on the dashboard. It'll tell you your oil levels. Over here, if you were to add oil, you have your cap here. And then on this particular model, if you needed to jump start the coach itself for some reason, you would hook up jumper cables, the negative to this pin right here, you push it in, and then you'd connect your clamp to here, and then right here, you go to the positive. But the engine is self-contained, not a lot you need to do. And then to put the hood down, you just lift up, you have this release lever, and then it just drops in. Now, to release the hood, your handle is on the driver's side under the driver compartment. There's a lever right here. And if you pull down on it, that releases the hood. Since we're on the driver's side of the coach, if you're going to put fuel in it, it does take diesel fuel. You have this door right here. You lift the door up, and then you fill your tank. The neat feature with this is you could, if you're filling up gas and you didn't want the fumes to come in, you can actually close your door, leave the window up, put the fuel in, and then, of course, when you're done, just put that back, and then it's automatically locks. You also have on this side an outside shower, hot and cold. They give you a shower hose that you connect. Then you have this compartment here, which controls your black tank, gray tank for discharging and at an RV park or where you want to dump. You have instructions right here. This allows you to bring the sewer hoses out. So what you would do is you would pull sewer hose out, has an attachment if you want to use that or not, depending on what type of connection. This just comes out. You would then open the valve. You have a black valve and a gray valve. Black, again, is just for your toilet. Gray is everything else, your sinks. Then you would turn it on, and that would pump it out. This is a macerator type sewer hose. You have a service light, a cable inlet, and then you have a feature here that you push the button and it retracts the hose back in. Inside here, you also have a sanitation flush connection for your black tank hose if you wanted to flush out the black tank. This is just an access panel for your Truma heating system. Then this is your freshwater fill. So if you're in an RV park and you wanted to have onboard water, you would connect to a water source using that potable hose. Once you turn that water on, now you have onboard water. This has a built-in regulator as well. I'm going to double check. Okay. This is your exhaust port for the heating system and hot water system. And then you have a smart plug here. To unhook that, you just squeeze those in and pull it off. This means we're hooked up to power. To install it, and this is a 30 amp cord, by the way, you would just plug that in, and that's it. You have a solar exterior port here if you wanted to add to your solar that's on the roof currently. Then we come around to the back. You have two battery disconnects on this particular coach. This would be the manual override. You would turn this. It's a little bit difficult. You normally wouldn't do that unless you had an emergency. You have an actual button up front. I'll show you where you would hit that button and it disconnects the batteries to the coach. Not to the engine, but to the coach. And then as we move around here, You have an electric shade. I'll demonstrate that in a minute that comes down. You also have a backup camera right up there. When you're put the coach in reverse, it activates the back of the coach so you can see when you're backing up. So we come around this side, you have a sliding door. You would just pull the handle and it electronically closes or opens. You have another solar port here for external solar. So depending on what side you're on of the coach. You also have your onboard propane here. This is where you would turn it on or off. Right here, there's a little button. Then this is where you would turn, if you were to fill up, you would unscrew this at an appropriate place to fill up the propane tank. And then this here is a quick connect. You can get a hose if you want to use the propane on board. If you get a hose and you want to do some grilling, or you had a little fire pit or something that used propane. This is the tailpipe for the actual coach itself. And then once again, if you want to open the door, you just pull that and it'll open automatically. You have an electric step here. You have a button on the main control panel. I'll go over that in a minute, but you can actually turn that step on or off so the step doesn't keep going in and out automatically. If you're at a destination and you want that step to stay out, you will hit the button and lock it out. The nice feature is if you were to start the van, the coach, and you were trying to leave, it would warn you that the step is out, or it would automatically go in. This is for your fresh water on board. This is where you're traveling and you want to have water on the coach as you're driving, and you're not at an RV park with water that you would hook up to. You have a screen here that opens and closes. And then you have another screen right here that you can open and close. You have adjustable lumbar here on the seats on both front and passenger. And now we'll go inside and cover some of the components within the interior. So as we come up here, you have 3 control panels in this 19-foot Interstate. This is a smaller version. You have another smaller version around the corner, and then we have a bigger master controller above the seating area here in the back. This is how you turn off your battery disconnect. So we have that manual one in the back. This is the actual electric one. If you hit this, it will shut the batteries down for the coach, not the vehicle front itself, the Mercedes. This is just for the back side of the coach, so you don't have any parasitic draw if you're in storage or whatnot. Then you have a series of buttons here. You have your home button, talks about your gray tank, your black tank, how full those are. Lights, you can control all of your lights, inside and outside. You can control your temperature, your air conditioner, your blinds, up and down. And then some other controls on your electronic system. As you can see, you've got fresh water, black tank, gray tank. So that's a nice feature. And you have 3 of these control panels in this particular coach. So we come around, you have obviously your sink. You have a cooktop that is propane. You would push this in, turn the lever over to the flame, and then you would ignite it with this igniter here, and then they would ignite. As we move around to this side, you have a microwave. You have a little extender here. More storage around the side here. As we come, you have a TV that does tilt. If you pull this lever down, it comes away from the wall, and then you can turn that to your desired set. So this is the master control panel for the coach. Again, this is a bigger version of that smaller panel I showed you. You can turn lights on and off. You can dim them. You can bring your awning in and out. Set your temperature of the coach from the air conditioner if you want cooler or warmer. You have your fresh tank, gray tank, blank tank. It even tells you your LP. So if you're full or you're starting to run out, you have some tank heaters. You turn on your water pump, and then you have an onboard generator. And then if you hit start, that's where the generator would start. You have inverters on this particular coach. So if you were boondocking, you can set that. You have solar. You have your Truma hot water. This runs your hot water and your heat for the coach. As you can see, you have right here, that's your hot water. That's the heat in the coach, and has some other settings and fan mode. So very sophisticated, but a nice system. And that is separate. So your hot water and furnace for this particular coach would not be on this control panel. It would be on this control panel. And then you have solar. Obviously, we're inside. If you're outside, it would tell you what you're drawing. And then again, another tank heater here for turning on if you're in cold climates. You have a 12-volt refrigerator. And then we have this is a wet bathroom, kind of all in one. You do have a vent in here, and you can turn on from the control panel. You just lift this up or pull this down. And then as we come over around this side, you have buttons. This is for your ottoman. This will lower and raise your ottoman on the sides, each side, and then the lounge itself. You can adjust it to tilt or actually bring it all down into a bed. You have your exhaust fan here. Again, it's from the control panel. You can turn that on. You have a couple ways to open and close the side door from inside the coach. One is on your key ring. One is a button here. And then there's another button on the dashboard right here. So if you were sitting and you were to hit this, the side door will automatically close. And then up front, it's like a typical Mercedes product. You have all your controls, your cruise control, lane keeping assist on the steering wheel. You also have your radio and controls here for the air conditioning within the front part of the Mercedes chassis itself. You have a radio up here. This radio is for the rear of the coach. You actually have a radio for listening when you're driving that is integrated in the Mercedes info system. So that concludes our brief walkthrough on the 2025 Interstate 19.